The sun was setting on a quiet spring afternoon in the city park. A warm breeze fluttered the daffodils, and the golden light filtered through the budding trees. Joggers passed by, children laughed in the distance, and squirrels darted across the grass. But beneath a thick hedge near the duck pond, hidden among twigs and fallen leaves, a small shape trembled. Charlie, a soft, gray rabbit with long ears and gentle eyes, huddled in fear. His fur was dirty, matted with mud, and his heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear the birds above. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. His throat was dry. The world around him felt so large, so unfamiliar. Charlie had once lived in a small, cozy hutch at the back of someone's yard. He didn't remember much about the people who used to feed him. They weren't unkind, but they weren't warm either. They barely spoke to him. One day, someone picked him up, placed him in a box with holes in the side, and drove for what felt like hours. When the box opened again, he was in the park. And then they left. He waited by the hedge that day, expecting them to return. Maybe they forgot something? Maybe it was a mistake. But the hours passed. The sun fell. The moon rose. The stars blinked in and out. And no one came back. The first night was cold. Charlie burrowed under leaves, trying to hide from the unfamiliar noises. He had never known the sounds of owls or rustling raccoons. He had never heard footsteps that didn't belong to humans. Every crack of a twig made him flinch. By the third night, hunger was a growling monster inside him. He nibbled on dandelion stems and clover, but he missed the pellets he once had, the crisp greens that came in bowls. Rain fell the next morning, soaking his fur. His ears drooped, and he sat in a patch of mud with no shelter, shivering. But Charlie was gentle. He didn't panic. He didn't run wildly or make noise. Something in him told him to stay quiet, observe. And so he watched. He watched the ducks waddling toward the pond. He watched a family of raccoons tiptoe into a trash bin. He even saw a fox once, lean and red-eyed, moving like a shadow along the far edge of the park. He knew to stay hidden then. It was a little girl who saw him first. Her name was Ellie. She was 7 years old, with wild curly hair and a laugh that sounded like a wind chime. She and her mother came to the park every weekend to feed the ducks. Ellie liked to explore the bushes near the pond. That's where she found him. She gasped when she saw the gray fur tucked under the hedge. "A bunny," she whispered, crouching low. Charlie froze. His ears shot up. Ellie didn't move closer. She sat on her knees, hands in her lap, and stared. "You look scared," she said gently. "It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." Charlie didn't run. Something about her voice reminded him of peace. She came back the next day. And the day after. Each time she brought bits of lettuce and small apple slices in a napkin. She placed them near the hedge, then sat back. He waited. And then, after several minutes, he crept forward, ears twitching, nose sniffing. He nibbled a piece of apple and darted back into the hedge. Ellie beamed. "You're beautiful," she told him one morning. "I'm gonna call you Charlie." Ellie told her mother about Charlie. At first, her mother, Lisa, didn't believe her. "A wild rabbit?" Lisa asked. "No, not wild. He's soft and sweet, and his ears droop at the ends. He's not like the brown bunnies. He's someone's pet." "I know it." Lisa was skeptical. But the next weekend, she followed Ellie quietly to the hedge. When Charlie appeared, thin, dirty, but unmistakably tame, Lisa's heart sank. Someone had abandoned him. She recognized the signs. His fur was not made for the wild, his body too trusting, his stare too familiar. "We can't just leave him here," Ellie pleaded. "He's gonna get eaten by something." Lisa didn't have the heart to say no. She worked as a nurse and had a soft spot for the vulnerable. That afternoon, she brought a pet carrier lined with a towel. They waited for Charlie to finish his apple slices, and then Lisa gently scooped him up, careful not to frighten him. He didn't resist. He simply stared with wide, soft eyes. Ellie held his paw through the crate door on the drive home. Charlie's new home was a warm, sunlit apartment on the second floor of a quiet street. His new room was Ellie's room. She'd begged her mom, and Lisa finally agreed, so long as she helped clean and feed him. They made him a soft corner with a fleece bed, hay, and fresh vegetables. A litter box sat neatly nearby, and toys were scattered around. Ellie even drew pictures of Charlie and hung them above his area. He was cautious at first. Every sound startled him, but days passed, then weeks. Slowly, the tension in his small body eased. He began to stretch in the mornings. He binkied little jumps of joy when no one was watching. He learned to nuzzle Ellie's hand, and sometimes, if she sat still enough, he hopped onto her lap. Lisa watched the bond grow with wonder. Charlie seemed to understand Ellie's moods. When she was upset, he would sit close. When she giggled, he jumped around in silly circles. One night, Ellie whispered into his ear, "You're my best friend." Charlie's nose twitched, and he pressed it to her cheek. But not everything was perfect. Charlie still had nightmares. Sometimes he woke in the middle of the night, shaking, remembering the cold nights in the park or the loud noise of the box being opened and closed. Ellie would gently stroke his fur until he settled. And Lisa worried about how sensitive he was. He didn't like loud noises or sudden changes. When visitors came, he hid under the bed. When they tried to trim his nails, he trembled so hard Lisa's hands shook too. Then, one day, something strange happened. It was a Tuesday afternoon. Ellie was at school, Lisa at work. Charlie was lounging in the sunbeam near the window when the front door creaked open. A man stepped in. Charlie froze. The man wasn't Lisa. He wore dark jeans and a hoodie, and he moved quickly, glancing around. He stepped toward the bookshelves, pulled down a small jewelry box, and began rummaging through drawers. Charlie's heart thundered in his chest. He didn't understand everything, but he knew something was wrong. Without thinking, Charlie bolted from the living room, his nails clicking against the floor. He dashed into Lisa's bedroom and leapt onto the windowsill. There, on the desk, sat Lisa's tablet. It was motion sensitive. All he had to do was knock it hard enough. Bam! It lit up. He pawed at it, again and again, swiping with his tiny feet. A random app opened, video call. Somehow, miraculously, it rang through. Lisa answered, confused. "Ellie? What's going?" She saw the room behind him. The open drawers. The man moving across the hallway. "Charlie?" she breathed. Then she saw the man's face. "Someone's in the house," she shouted to a nearby nurse. "Call 911, now." The police arrived 10 minutes later. The man had already fled, but thanks to the video feed, they had his image. Lisa rushed home. The door was still slightly ajar. Charlie sat motionless by the tablet. She dropped to her knees and scooped him up. "You brave little guy," she whispered, hugging him close. That night, Ellie came home to the story. "You're a hero, Charlie," she declared, placing a crown made of paper on his head. "You saved our house." Charlie didn't understand the fuss, but he loved the warmth of their voices, the treats, and the extra cuddles that night. From then on, Charlie was more than just a pet. He was family, a quiet guardian, a symbol of gentle strength. But deep down, Charlie still carried questions. About the people who left him. About the cold world beyond the hedge. And one day, something would happen that would make those questions matter again. But that's a story for another time. Spring turned into summer, and Charlie's world grew brighter every day. Ellie had drawn an elaborate sign for his corner. Charlie's castle, complete with cardboard towers and tunnels made from paper towel rolls. Lisa added soft mats to the living room floor so Charlie could zoom around without slipping. He even had a little hammock by the window, where he liked to nap in the sun. He had come a long way from the frightened creature under the hedge. He now knew the comfort of being wanted, loved. Charlie had his routines. Breakfast with Ellie before school, mid-morning naps while Lisa worked, and long playtimes in the evening. He had learned the sound of the fridge door meant fresh greens, and the gentle jingle of Ellie's bell bracelet meant cuddles. But even in this peaceful life, something lingered, something Charlie couldn't quite shake. It came in dreams, mostly. Short flashes. A cold room. A hand that smelled of metal. The sound of voices arguing. A box. Always the box. And lately, there had been a new sensation. Whenever the front door creaked open, Charlie's ears perked unnaturally. Sometimes, at night, he'd hop to the window and sit for hours, as if waiting for something, or someone. Lisa noticed. "He's been acting weird," she said one evening, stirring spaghetti while Ellie colored on the floor. "Maybe he misses the park," Ellie said innocently. "We could take him." Lisa hesitated. "I don't know, what if it's a trigger for him? He was so scared when we found him." "But he's safe now," Ellie said with wide eyes. "And maybe going back will help him feel better." Lisa sighed. We'll try it, but we have to be careful. That Sunday, they brought Charlie back to the park. Ellie held him in her lap as they sat on a picnic blanket by the pond. It was a different season, but the scent of grass and the rustle of the trees hadn't changed. Charlie was quiet, still, but alert. His eyes moved constantly, scanning everything, the pond, the path, the people. Then he froze. A man had walked by. Tall, with a crooked walk and dark sunglasses. He looked down briefly, then kept walking. Charlie's body trembled. Lisa noticed immediately. Ellie, hold him. I've got him, Ellie whispered, wrapping her arms gently around him. Charlie didn't move, but his ears were standing straight, and his nose twitched furiously. The man disappeared behind a row of trees. Let's go home, Lisa said firmly. That night, Charlie didn't sleep. He sat near the door, ears drooped low. Every creak made him flinch. When Lisa came out to get a glass of water at midnight, she found him curled in a tight ball, eyes wide open. She sat beside him, stroking his back. What happened to you, Charlie? She whispered. She didn't expect an answer. But somewhere deep inside, Charlie remembered. The next week brought more changes. Ellie had gone to a friend's birthday party, and Lisa took the chance to do some spring cleaning. She was sorting old boxes in the hallway closet when she found an envelope she didn't recognize. It had been tucked inside the pet carrier they used to bring Charlie home from the park. She opened it slowly. Inside was a folded piece of paper, yellowed, water-stained, and torn on one side. Written in a child's shaky handwriting were the words, "His name is Charlie. Please be nice to him. I didn't want to leave him. I'm sorry." Lisa's breath caught. There was no signature, no address, nothing to explain, just guilt. She sat on the couch for a long time, staring at the note. When Ellie came home, Lisa showed it to her. Someone did care, Ellie whispered. Someone had to let him go, but didn't want to. They sat in silence for a while, both staring at Charlie, who was asleep in his fleece tunnel, paws twitching in a dream. We have to find out where he came from, Ellie said suddenly. Lisa raised her eyebrows. That's not easy, honey. But we can try, Ellie insisted. We have to. What if that kid thinks Charlie's gone forever? Lisa hesitated, then nodded. They started with a visit to the vet. Dr. Kramer was gentle and kind, and Charlie had grown used to her over the months. She scanned Charlie's neck for a microchip, and to everyone's surprise, there was one. Registered under Charlie, she said, frowning. No last name, just a phone number. No address. Lisa took the number, heart pounding. They tried calling. The line was dead, but the vet was able to pull a record from when the chip had first been scanned, nearly a year ago, by a vet clinic on the other side of the city. That's something, Lisa said. So they went. The clinic was small, a bit rundown, but the receptionist remembered Charlie right away. Yes, he came in with a woman, dark hair, nervous. Said they'd found him in a pet store giveaway bin. The boy with her was the one who gave the name. A boy? Ellie asked. About 10, maybe. Didn't say much. Just held the rabbit real tight. Do you know what happened to them? Lisa asked. The receptionist hesitated. Not sure. But I remember they mentioned something about moving. Said they couldn't keep pets where they were going. Ellie's shoulders slumped. They cared, she whispered. But they had no choice. That night, Charlie sat in Ellie's lap as she told him the story. You had a family before, she whispered. And someone loved you, but now you have us, too. Charlie looked up at her with those soft, deep eyes. As if he understood. But something still nagged at Lisa. Who was that man in the park? The answer came, unexpectedly, through a strange coincidence. One morning, Lisa was scrolling the neighborhood forum online and saw a thread titled, "Suspicious man seen in park, anyone else notice?" She clicked. Several users described a man loitering near the pond, watching families. Tall, thin, sunglasses. Same crooked walk. Her blood ran cold. She added her own comment. Someone replied, I think that guy used to live near Briarwood Avenue. Got evicted. Left a bunch of animals behind. Lisa froze. She remembered the vet's record. The same area. Could it be? Could that man be Charlie's original owner? And if so, what had Charlie escaped? That night, Lisa sat Ellie down. We need to be careful at the park for a while, she said gently. Because of the man? Ellie asked. Lisa nodded. I don't want to scare you, but I think he may have had Charlie before. And if he did, it wasn't a good place. Ellie's lip trembled. You mean, he was mean to him? We don't know everything, but we know Charlie was abandoned. And someone else, maybe the boy, tried to help him. Ellie hugged Charlie close. He's never going back there. Lisa smiled. No, never, but Charlie had already sensed the change. He could feel tension in the house, the way Lisa's movements became more careful, the way Ellie held him just a little tighter. The scent of fear returned. And one morning, as he sat by the window, ears tilted toward the sound of the street, he saw a shape in the distance. A man, staring up at the building. Then he walked away. Charlie's ears twitched. Something was coming, and this time, Charlie wouldn't be just a survivor. He would be a protector. The days that followed were strangely quiet. Lisa double-checked the locks every night. Ellie slept with Charlie curled up beside her, his fur soft under her small hand. But there was a new stillness in the apartment, a hush that seemed to hold its breath. Even Charlie, usually playful in the evenings, now spent more time watching the window. The man hadn't returned, not that they saw, but something in Charlie had changed. He no longer flinched at the sound of doors, no longer cowered when footsteps echoed in the hallway. It was as if he had drawn a line in the sand and said, silently but firmly, no more. Lisa noticed it first. He's different now, she murmured to Ellie as they watched Charlie nibble at a slice of apple in the kitchen. Not scared, just aware. Maybe he remembers, Ellie said. Maybe he knows who that man is. Lisa didn't argue, because deep down, she believed it too. A week passed. It was a Thursday afternoon when it happened. Ellie was at school. Lisa had just finished a work call and was moving to the kitchen when the knock came. Not the usual friendly kind. It was slow, sharp. She peeked through the peephole. The man from the park. Her chest tightened. She didn't open the door. Hello? The man called. His voice was rough, like gravel. I think you have my rabbit. Lisa's heart pounded. She didn't speak. She didn't move. I seen him, he said. In the window. That's Charlie. He's mine. Charlie had already bolted from his nap and was crouched in front of the door. Not running away, but facing it. He made no sound. Don't make this hard, the man said. Lisa backed away. Her fingers shook as she called the police. By the time they arrived, the man was gone. That night, Lisa held Ellie close and explained what had happened. Will he come back? Ellie asked, voice quivering. I don't know, Lisa whispered. But I'll protect you. And Charlie too. I think Charlie wants to protect us, Ellie said softly, rubbing her eyes. He stayed at the door the whole time. Lisa turned toward Charlie, who sat nearby, ears alert. A tiny sentinel in the quiet. The police returned the next day to get a full report. They asked about the vet records, the note in the carrier, everything. A young officer named Mara seemed particularly interested. We'll keep an eye out, she said. But I have to say, the note you found, the way he was abandoned, it doesn't match the behavior of someone who loved him. Lisa nodded. That's why we think someone else, maybe a child, was the one who let him go. To protect him. Then you're probably right, Officer Mara said. He didn't come from a good place. That night, Charlie stayed even closer to Ellie. As she read out loud to him from her favorite adventure book, Charlie's nose twitched with every word. When she reached a line that said, "You don't need to be big to be brave," she paused and smiled at him. "That's you," she whispered. "My brave little knight." Charlie nuzzled her hand. 2 days later, everything changed. Lisa got a call from Officer Mara. "We found the man. He was living in an abandoned property near Briarwood. He had cages, lots of them. Some animals still alive, some not." Lisa closed her eyes, a wave of nausea hitting her. "He won't be bothering you again," Mara continued. "He's being charged with multiple counts of neglect and cruelty. And, we think we found the boy." Lisa opened her eyes. "The one who wrote the note?" "Yes. We think he was the man's nephew. Social services placed him in foster care last year. He's with a stable family now." "Does he know Charlie is safe?" "He does. We showed him pictures." He cried. Lisa's voice cracked. "Can he see him? We're leaving that up to you. He's not asking for Charlie back, just wants to know he's happy." Lisa wiped her eyes. "Bring him." The meeting was quiet, delicate. The boy's name was Noah. He was small for his age, with wary eyes and fingers that trembled when they reached toward Charlie. Charlie sniffed his hand once, then nudged it gently. Noah broke down in tears. "I tried to keep him safe," he whispered. "I really did." Lisa knelt beside him. "You did, Noah. You were brave. You gave him a chance. And now he's part of our family." "I don't want to take him back," Noah said quickly. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry." Ellie stepped forward and offered her hand. "You don't have to be sorry. You saved him. Want to come play with him for a while?" Noah blinked, then nodded. That afternoon, the three of them, Ellie, Noah, and Charlie, played in the living room under a cardboard castle. Charlie darted through tunnels, kicked up his feet in a joyful binky, and flopped down beside his new, old friend. Noah laughed. Really laughed. Lisa watched from the kitchen, tears in her eyes. Charlie wasn't just rescued. He was the rescuer, too. Life moved forward. Charlie returned to his sunny hammock and his routines. But now he had a small wooden medallion hanging from his pen, handmade by Ellie and Noah. It had a tiny paw print carved into it and the words, "Sir Charlie, Knight of the Brave." Noah visited once a month. Each time, he brought a new toy or treat. And each time, Charlie remembered. There were no more dreams. No more flinches at the sound of footsteps. Charlie had rewritten his story, not with words, but with patience, and love, and quiet strength. And every time someone asked Ellie about her rabbit, she would say, "Oh, Charlie? He's not just a pet. He's a hero." Then she'd lean closer, with a gleam in her eye. "Want to hear how he saved us?"